Good morning, everybody. We have a mostly lower trade in the grain markets here early on Friday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. May corn futures down 5.5 cents at 5:33. May soybeans are down 7.5 at 14.06. May Chicago wheat down 1.25 at 6.41 1/4. May Kansas City wheat is up 2 cents at 6.06 1/4. For those of you guys listening on the podcast, I really appreciate it. If you have not left me a review, I would really appreciate if you did, especially on the Apple Podcast app. I could use some more reviews there. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the like button. It would really help me out in regard to YouTube, the way that their algorithms work, help to spread these videos out a little bit. And remember, if you need some more help from me, go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan here in the upper right-hand corner. For $49 a month, I will send you my morning email, which goes out every business day at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. I will send you my text message service. You will be made aware of when, how, and specifically I'm pricing corn, soybeans, and wheat throughout the year. It's broken down by crop year, by percentage, all sorts of interesting charts, graphics, overnight headlines, everything you need to be aware of for the day. This is a monthly subscription billed to your credit card, and you can cancel at absolutely any time, so certainly check that out. The headlines here this morning, Brazil had its crop report out yesterday. The Brazilian government pegged the soybean crop at 135.1 million metric tons, up from 133.8 previously. The reasoning here was because of higher acreage largely. They increased the acreage number by about half a percentage point. The corn crop estimate was also increased, 108.1 up from 105.5 last month. So these estimates, both of them, are toward the higher end of what we've seen for both crops recently. Big crops, I suppose, getting a little bit bigger in Brazil. I'd say that the soybean crop, they could be close to reality there. Corn crop's got a long way to go. I mean, they're really in the heart of planting right now. Argentina's crop estimates continue to be cut. The Buenos Aires Grain Exchange pegged the crop at 44 million metric tons, down from 46 previously. That's the lowest estimate I've seen from any of these reputable groups or exchanges thus far. They also reduced their estimate for the corn crop, 45 million, down from 46 previously. This was the quote from the exchange. Early planted soy fields are approaching harvest with expected yields below historical averages. Late planted soy is seeing losses of harvestable area due to pest attacks and depleted water reserves. March and April are big months for row crop harvest in Argentina. They both typically wrap up by late April or early May. Meal prices in China have fallen sharply. The nearby May meal contract on the Dalian Commodity Exchange traded its lowest level since December yesterday. It's really kind of been in like free fall mode here. I've got a chart I can show you real quick. I think that there are some additional concerns regarding African swine fever in China. I think that that's part of the reason here. We've seen a decline of 16 or 17% in Dalian meal prices since the peak, which was early to mid-January. So that's a significant decline. And the Chinese government to this point has only made a couple of official reports of very minor cases of ASF. But based on this chart and based on some softer corn prices in China too, you could make the argument that there is some additional concern regarding African swine fever. So certainly something that bears watching here as we move forward. The U.S. Western Corn Belt and Plains should see some significant drought relief. This morning's forecast is offering quite a bit of rain for a lot of these drought-stricken areas here. I've got a side-by-side map on my screen here. This is the drought monitor paired with this morning's forecast for the next 7 days. And you can see a lot of these really dry areas are going to see some really significant rainfall if these forecasts are anywhere near reality. I mean, you look at almost all of Nebraska expected to see anywhere from 2 up to 4 inches of rain over the next 7 days. Almost all of Kansas, almost all of Missouri, northern Oklahoma, the southern part of the Corn Belt, southern Iowa, southern Illinois, southern Indiana. The southeast is going to get a lot of rain. Your areas that are going to remain very dry, North Dakota is hugely problematic right now. The northern, say 2/3 of South Dakota, I think a little bit of southern Minnesota is very dry. So there's still some issues, but I mean, this has the makings of a drought busting event for some of these areas, most notably probably Nebraska and western Iowa. So this is, I think it has been a negative for the HRW wheat market, which traded into some fresh 2-month lows here yesterday. This, you could make the argument that this is maybe negative the row crop markets even. There's been concern that this drought could linger into the growing season, and if this pattern turns wetter, and it looks like these rains are imminent. I mean, this isn't long-term stuff. This is we're talking the next 7 days. But if a wetter pattern emerges here, that could perhaps alleviate some concerns regarding any sort of drought this year, certainly. And I don't really ever pay attention to anything beyond the 14-day forecast. I know that some of the longer term stuff out there has suggested that, yeah, we could see some sort of drought this year, but short-term stuff looks awfully wet to me. Today is last trading day for March grain futures. If you have any remaining open positions there, make sure you take a look. Cattle futures finished the day kind of mixed yesterday. Hogs were up sharply. Cash cattle light. Western Corn Belt, Nebraska, 112.5, which is even worse than what we've seen. And then there was some 113 to 114 Wednesday. We'll see what develops here today. In the outside markets, we've got the S&P down 16 points. The Dow is up 20. Gold's down 21 bucks. Silver is down as well. The U.S. dollar is sharply higher. We've got a lower trade in the crude oil market, down 24 cents in the April WTI, 65.78. The bonds down more than a full handle. Big sell-off there. Guys, on Monday, I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to definitely post a podcast episode. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do a video or not, but at worst case, I'll be back Tuesday morning. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.